Have you ever been in that situation where, out of nowhere, it feels like your girl is ignoring you? She's not replying to your messages, she seems distant, and suddenly you start wondering, did I say something weird? Did she suddenly become a monk and take a vow of silence? That feeling of being pushed aside can be confusing and, honestly, kind of painful. But hey, I got you. We all go through moments where we feel invisible, especially when we have a connection with someone. And then, things change. So, what do? The key is to handle it with confidence and self-respect, without letting your dignity take a hit. In this video, we're going to break down 5 ways to deal with this situation. And most importantly, we're going to talk about how to keep your self-esteem intact. Because how you react says a lot about who you are, and that's what really matters. We're going to explore how to handle this with maturity, patience, and zero desperation, while keeping things respectful for both her and yourself. So if you've ever been through this or are worried it might happen, stick with me until the end. By the time we're done, you'll know exactly how to walk away from this situation stronger, more confident, and completely in control. Let's get into it. When you realize a woman is ignoring you, your first instinct is usually to figure out why. And let's be real, it's hard not to spiral into a million different possibilities. Did I say something wrong? Did I do something weird? She doesn't like me anymore? Your brain starts running at full speed, right? But hold up, before you jump to conclusions, take a step back and relax. A lot of times, the reason she seems distant has nothing to do with you. She might be dealing with something personal, work stress, drama with friends, or maybe she's just overwhelmed with life. We all have ups and downs, and people aren't always as available as we'd like them to be. Think about it. You send a text and hours go by with no response. Does that mean she's lost interest? Maybe. But it could also mean she's stuck in a long meeting, handling something emotional, or just taking some much-needed time for herself, which, by the way, is totally healthy. The key here is to recognize that her actions might be influenced by things outside of your control, and that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. So instead of immediately assuming it's something you did or didn't do, take a second to understand the bigger picture. Ask yourself, could she be going through something tough? Does she just need space to process things? Sometimes the best first move is to step back, give her room, and approach the situation with a clear head, instead of reacting out of stress or anxiety. Trust me, handling this with maturity and confidence will make all the difference. That's why, before letting anxiety or doubt take over, take a deep breath. Seriously, not everything is about you. More often than not, understanding the bigger picture is the key to keeping yourself from getting lost in assumptions. And at the same time, it helps you respond with maturity and empathy, which, let's be honest, is always the better move. You know that moment when you realize she's pulling away and suddenly you feel this urge to fix things fast? That overwhelming need to text her and ask, what's wrong? Or even go out of your way to make sure she knows you're still there? I get it. When we care about someone, the last thing we want is for that distance to grow, right? But here's the kicker. What she probably needs most in that moment is space. Now, before you focus on your life, it's okay to check in, just once. A simple, hey, everything okay? Let me know if you need anything is enough. No pressure, no interrogation, just a genuine check-in. And here's the key. If she responds and says she needs space, respect it. If she doesn't respond at all, that's a sign too. Either way, your next move is the same. Give her room. Yeah, I know, it sounds counterintuitive, but more often than not, the best move when a woman pulls away is to respect that space. And no, that doesn't mean you're giving up or that you don't care. Actually, it's the opposite. Giving her that breathing room shows emotional maturity and respect, which, let's be real, is way more attractive than desperation. Think about it. Have you ever been so overwhelmed, tired, or just mentally drained that you needed a little time to yourself? It's not that you didn't care about the people around you. You just needed a moment to reset. The same thing might be happening with her. So instead of flooding her inbox with texts or trying to force a fix, take a step back. Use this time to focus on you, your own well-being, your own goals, even some good old self-care. Not only does this create a healthy space for her, but it also keeps you from getting lost in doubts or insecurities. And here's the real secret. Giving her space actually shows confidence. Confidence that things will play out naturally, that you're secure enough not to chase, and that you trust yourself enough to handle the situation with maturity. Sometimes, silence can be powerful. It creates a comfortable space for both of you to reconnect in a way that feels natural and genuine. So next time you feel that urge to chase after her, remember, respecting her space might be the most valuable thing you can offer. And more importantly, it's often the key to helping both of you grow in a healthier, more balanced way. Sometimes, it's tough to take a step back and ask ourselves, did I do something that made her pull away? The answer might be uncomfortable, but it's an important one. When we feel ignored or distanced from someone, it's easy to blame the other person, chalk it up to bad luck, or assume it's just a timing issue. But what if the answer lies within us? Self-reflection isn't easy. I get that. No one likes to admit that their actions might have played a role in a situation like this. But here's the thing. Taking a hard look at yourself is an essential step toward growth and, more importantly, toward building better, healthier connections in the future. Ask yourself, could something I did or said have made her uncomfortable? Maybe you were a little too persistent. Maybe you sent mixed signals. Or maybe you didn't pick up on the fact that she needed more space. Sometimes it's something small, like missing subtle cues that she wanted a little breathing room. Other times it might be something deeper that only an honest conversation could resolve. For example, let's say you tend to send multiple texts when she doesn't reply right away. To you, that might just feel like keeping the conversation going, but to her, it could come across as overwhelming or even a little pressuring. Once you start reflecting on these patterns, you might realize that what seems normal or harmless to you could actually be creating discomfort for her. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't about blaming yourself or beating yourself up. The goal here isn't guilt, it's growth. By understanding how your actions impact others, you can become more aware, more intentional, and ultimately more emotionally intelligent in your relationships. And hey, nobody's perfect. We all mess up sometimes, but the real power lies in our ability to learn from those mistakes and do better next time. Self-reflection allows you to take control of your own growth, and in some cases, it might even help repair relationships that seemed lost. That right there is the key to becoming a stronger, more confident version of yourself and building connections that actually last. Sometimes silence and space aren't enough, and that's when an open, honest conversation might be the key to clearing things up. I get it. When someone pulls away, the fear of rejection or being misunderstood can be paralyzing. But communication, when done with respect and care, can turn distance into an opportunity to actually strengthen the connection. Now, before you go firing off texts or trying to talk things out at the wrong moment, timing is everything. Jumping into a conversation when the other person isn't ready can make things worse. So, pick a time when you both can talk comfortably. No pressure, no distractions. Once you decide to start the conversation, the key is honesty without pressure. Focus on expressing how you feel rather than pointing fingers or making accusations. Instead of saying, "You've been ignoring me, what's going on?" Try something softer, like, "I've noticed you've been a bit distant, and it left me feeling a little confused. I just wanted to check in and see if everything's okay, and if there's anything I can do to make you feel more comfortable." See the difference? It's not about demanding answers, it's about creating space for her to share. Communication isn't just about what you say, it's also about how well you listen. When you genuinely ask about her feelings and let her speak without judgment, you build an atmosphere of trust and mutual respect. This isn't about pushing for explanations, it's about showing understanding and being open to her perspective. Let's put this in a real-world scenario. You've noticed she's been distant, and it's starting to affect you. You decide to check in with a thoughtful, respectful conversation. When she responds, you might learn that her distance has nothing to do with you. Maybe she's dealing with personal struggles she wasn't sure how to share. Or maybe she'll open up about needing more space or time. Whatever the case, starting that conversation in the right way shows emotional maturity and the ability to handle situations in a healthy way. Now let's be real. Communication isn't some magic spell that fixes everything overnight, but a lack of communication, that's what really fuels doubts and distance. Being willing to talk things through without pressure or expectations can lead to a much deeper understanding, and sometimes even a stronger connection. So if the distance continues and you feel like something needs to be addressed, don't be afraid to open up. Just remember, the way you communicate is everything. Honesty without pressure, openness without expectations, and a willingness to truly listen, that's what makes the difference. When you find yourself in a situation where someone is ignoring you, it's so easy to get caught up in what's going on with them and completely forget about yourself. You start overthinking, questioning what you did wrong, and before you know it, you're pouring all your energy into this situation while totally neglecting the one thing that truly matters: you. But here's a little secret. The best thing you can do in moments like these is to focus on yourself. Yep, you. And no, that doesn't mean you don't care about the other person. It simply means you're choosing to prioritize your own emotional well-being, which is crucial for maintaining your peace of mind. It sounds simple, but practicing self-care is actually one of the most powerful things you can do when dealing with tough situations. Instead of obsessing over her behavior, shift your attention back to the things that make you feel good, the things that fuel your soul and help you reconnect with yourself. Think about your passions, hobbies, or even simple joys like reading a good book, hitting the gym, or trying something new just for fun. Not only will this keep your mind from spiraling, but it will also boost your self-esteem in the process. When you're emotionally balanced, when you invest in your own growth and well-being, you naturally become more confident, grounded, and at peace. And the crazy thing, that energy shift works like magic. When you feel good about yourself, you handle any situation with way more clarity and maturity, no matter what happens. Imagine that while she's being distant, you choose to focus on your personal growth, whether that's at work, in your studies, or by finally tackling that project you've been putting off. When you pour your energy into something that makes you feel proud of yourself, your whole outlook on the situation changes. Suddenly, it's not about the uncertainty of her actions. It's about how you can level up and become the best version of yourself. That that mindset not only makes you emotionally stronger, but it also prepares you for any challenge life throws your way. For example, if you enjoy working out, why not push yourself a little harder at the gym? Or maybe now's the perfect time to pick up a new skill or dive into something you've always wanted to learn. When you redirect your energy into things that fulfill you, you naturally feel more confident, more accomplished, and, let's be real, way less affected by someone else's uncertainty. This creates a sense of control and personal satisfaction that is priceless. By focusing on self-care, you're not just protecting your emotional health, you're sending a powerful message to yourself and the world. I am enough and my well-being comes first. And that mindset, it will help you stay calm, collected, and confident, no matter what happens on the other side. So the next time you feel yourself getting lost in their actions, remind yourself that the best way to handle any tough situation is to strengthen your own foundation. Put your energy into the things that make you happy, the things that make you grow, and trust me, when the time comes, you'll be in a much stronger place emotionally to handle whatever happens next. Now that we've gone through these 5 key tips for handling a situation where a woman is ignoring you, I want you to take one important thing with you. The foundation of any relationship, whether romantic, friendship, or even professional, is mutual respect. And that includes respect for yourself. Each of these tips is about moving forward, understanding others, and most importantly, growing as an individual. Remember, self-care and self-reflection are essential steps for handling any situation, not just in relationships, but in every aspect of life. When you respect someone's space, take the time to reflect on your own actions, and when needed, open an honest and pressure-free conversation. You're becoming someone who is more balanced, more mature, and ultimately more prepared for meaningful connections. And let's not forget the power of focusing on yourself. The more you invest in your own well-being and personal growth, the stronger and more confident you become, ready to face any challenge, no matter who is or isn't by your side. So, from now on, whenever you find yourself in a situation like this, remember these tips. Take a deep breath, practice self-care, and if necessary, have that honest conversation, without pressure, just with understanding. Doing this won't just help you navigate the present moment, but it will also help you grow as a person and strengthen your own sense of self-worth. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more insights on handling life situations with confidence and maturity. And I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below, share your experiences, ask questions, or just let me know your thoughts on today's topic.